In this true crime documentary, we uncover the shocking case of Lauren Heike.
Is horrific. I'm sorry. As hard as this is for us, we're grateful because we had such a beautiful child.
She was my little girl. I'm gonna miss her terribly.
It's okay, honey.
I just hope they can find whoever did this to her.
We really, really are begging people
Please,
to come forward.
if you know something, come forward.
If you know something,
out.
if you have seen something unusual, somebody wearing a backpack or a hoodie or whatever the video, it's hard to tell, in a sunny, hot day.
On Friday, April 28, 2023, Lauren Heike woke up from her sleep, just about to get out of bed, when her phone started buzzing with notifications from the WhatsApp group she shared with her brother Ryan and her close friends. The group was something they created to share what each of them felt thankful for that day. For Lauren, this day was already special. It was her day off and she had plans to meet a friend at Reach 11 Trail for a hike. Before getting out of bed, she sent a message to the group saying she was thankful to enjoy her coffee in peace and to spend time hiking today, even though the temperature had already reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But what Lauren didn't know, and what none of her friends could imagine, was that this would be the last time she ever walked that trail. Less than 2 hours later, Lauren's life would be cut short in the most brutal way under the midday sun. Before leaving her apartment, Lauren texted her boyfriend, Carlos, letting him know she was meeting a friend for the hike. Carlos told her he was heading to the gym, then going home. He asked her to text him once she was done so he could know she was safe. Lauren then walked out of her apartment, and from that moment, all contact with her completely stopped for the next 24 hours. During that time, her friends and her boyfriend tried to reach her again and again, but no one could get through. On the following morning, Saturday, April 29th, 2023, the Phoenix police received a call from Lauren's manager at work, who was also her friend. He reported that Lauren had missed her shift for more than 2 hours, and after checking with her friends, he learned that no one had heard from her since the previous day. As the dispatcher took the report and sent a patrol car to Lauren's residence at the Maxwell on 66th apartment complex, the 911 emergency line received another call.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency?
Oh, I just found a woman's body out in the desert going for a walk, and she's there. I didn't touch her. I didn't do anything, but it looks like she's been there for a while.
Did you get a clothing description? Did you see what she was wearing?
Workout clothes. She's in workout clothes, black bra, black pants. One shoe is off. She's got kind of blondish hair.
It wasn't difficult for police to connect the woman reported missing with the body they had just discovered. The distance between Lauren's apartment and the place where her body was found on Reach 11 Trail was less than a mile. And by an eerie coincidence, her home also stood less than a mile away from the police station itself. After reaching out to Lauren's family, investigators used her Arizona DMV photos along with tattoo descriptions provided by friends and relatives to confirm the victim's identity. It was officially confirmed. The body belonged to 29 years old Lauren Heike. At the crime scene, the first theory detectives considered was that Lauren had been the victim of a crime of passion. She had been stabbed more than 15 times, some wounds plunging as deep as 2 inches. But what struck investigators was that Lauren had been stabbed from behind while hiking. This clashed with the usual pattern of such crimes. Killers often face their victims before striking. Evidence also showed Lauren fought back with everything she had. She resisted fiercely. At one point, she even tried to break free. But the attacker was relentless, determined to end her life. The case puzzled detectives from the start, yet they were determined to find the killer, not only because of the sheer brutality of a woman murdered in broad daylight, but also because of the location. The police station was less than a mile away, and this was not some remote, isolated trail. Reach 11 was a designated hiking path, equipped with cameras across multiple areas. By the end of the day, Lauren's body was transported for autopsy. Her clothing and the shoes she wore were secured as evidence. A team of investigators began combing through more than 500 camera recordings from every area leading to the scene. Another team focused on identifying suspects. Naturally, their first step was to look at Lauren's boyfriend, Carlos Anderson. Detectives discovered Carlos had been dating Lauren for only 2 months, but their relationship seemed stable, filled with affection and understanding. Carlos was shattered, visibly devastated. He cooperated fully with investigators. He handed over his phone. Gym surveillance footage showed him there during the time of the murder. His phone records further proved he was nowhere near the scene. In fact, his phone that day showed nothing but a desperate flood of unanswered calls to Lauren. After speaking with him, detectives were certain Carlos was not the man they were after. Next, they turned to Lauren's friend, the one who was supposed to join her for the hike. He explained that a last-minute work obligation kept him late. He even sent Lauren a message letting her know he couldn't come. His alibi checked out. The first day of the investigation ended with no solid leads. Detectives felt the weight of the challenge, a brutal killing on a public trail in broad daylight. It was enough to spread fear across the entire community. What investigators didn't yet realize was that the following morning, the detectives assigned to review the footage would uncover a chilling breakthrough. At 10:29 a.m., Lauren appeared on camera leaving her apartment complex. She walked alone wearing the same outfit later found at the crime scene. Minutes later, another camera showed her heading south along Allied Way, then west onto East Princess Road. At 10:37, another camera captured a man walking the same path. Thin build, medium complexion, a short beard. He wore a black cap, glasses, a gray t-shirt, black pants, and black shoes with white trim. A black and red backpack slung over his shoulders. Moments later, Lauren reappeared on camera, walking the same route. 2 minutes later, the same man was seen following close behind. At 10:53 a.m., Lauren vanished from sight. But then came the most disturbing image. The same man reappeared, running, fleeing quickly from the area. This sequence made the reality undeniable. The suspect had shadowed Lauren step by step. She vanished with him in that critical moment, and moments later, he was seen escaping the scene.
Last Friday, at about 10 in the morning, Lauren was hiking on a trail in the area of 65th Street and Libby Lane in North Phoenix. Lauren was attacked from behind and died as a result of her injuries. We have released a brief video clip and a still image from one of the cameras. We are looking for a male between 5'8" and 6 foot tall, wearing dark clothing and a backpack. We believe someone would have noticed this person either before the attack or after he fled from our scene. We ask anyone with any information to contact Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS or for Spanish language, 480-TESTIGO. We will exhaust every resource to bring justice to Lauren and her family. We just ask for any measure of assistance that we can get from the community.
What you just saw moments ago was the police press conference. But in truth, it wasn't just a press conference. It was part of a larger plan, a strategy the public knew nothing about, not even Lauren's own family. Because on that very day, the DNA analysis from Lauren's shoes had come back, and it matched the prime suspect, a man already logged in the CODIS database. Investigators had begun quietly gathering every piece of information about him. But at the same time, and in order to keep the investigation sealed in absolute secrecy, police asked Lauren's family to step forward. They urged them to appear before the cameras in a press conference, to appeal directly to the community, to ask anyone with knowledge of this man to come forward. And so Lauren's family stood before the microphones. They spoke not only as grieving relatives, but as voices for justice. They told the world who Lauren truly was, and they begged the community to help them bring her killer into custody.
Obviously, she was beautiful, and she was beautiful inside and out. She had such a kind heart. Everybody who met her loved her. She was super funny. She was just a sweet child, just everything to us. They are always your babies, but even her, she just was. But she lived here, and she hadn't lived in that apartment too long, but she loved it. She loved this area. She had so many friends, and she was always happy. She would call. We don't live. We are out of town, and I talked to her every single day, at least once or twice a day, and texted. And every phone call ended with "I love you, Mom," and every text ended that way. Is horrific. I'm sorry. As hard as this is for us, we're grateful because we had such a beautiful child. We feel like we're grateful she had beautiful friends. We have been bombarded. Everybody who has ever met her says she was so sweet and so kind and so loving, and they loved her. And we take a lot of comfort in that. We know that person, and we're grateful for all the people who have reached out. And we're happy that her last moments, she loved to exercise. She was walking, and we know she was happy. She went out that morning on a beautiful day to do what she does every day. And we just want the world to know what a sweet person she was and what she meant to us and to our family and what a void it leaves for us. But we also know that this dark period, we'll have her memories and we will love her every minute that we are on this earth.
Yeah.
You know?
She was my little girl. I'm gonna miss her terribly.
It's okay, honey.
I just hope they can find whoever did this to her.
We really, really are begging people
Please,
to come forward.
if you know something, come forward.
If you know something,
out.
if you have seen something unusual, somebody wearing a backpack or a hoodie or whatever the video, it's hard to tell, in a sunny, hot day, that person will stand out. And when you've done something, you are going to be unusual. If you think it might be something, if you have an inkling, please contact the police. We're praying that all of you people will help us.
I know someone knows something that can help us.
We want her to just be remembered, and we want people to help and just know she's so beautiful and sweet and very sweet. Like, we did worry because she was so nice to everybody. If she was in the store, I would always say to her, Lauren, you can't trust everybody.
Yeah.
But she was that kind of person, and we wouldn't trade that personality for anything because that's the person we love. So, Riv?
Yeah, no, she just, she definitely had the ability to change anybody's life. No matter what they were going through, if you interacted with Lauren, she was just an amazing individual. And I just want everyone to dig as deep as you can to find anything or any type of information that just leads to finding out who did this to her, because I mean, she woke up that day just so happy, and we just can't imagine what could have happened to her. So it's just, please, like, dig deep as you can.
I just want to say that River and Chloe and Lauren were like 3 amigos. They talked every single day for hours. And if anyone, I know she loves you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
My God, it seems a little bit weird. I got to tell somebody.
I noticed the guy that looks vaguely familiar to the guy on the news.
Although police had already identified their suspect, the flood of calls from the community proved invaluable. Those calls erased any lingering doubts. Most witnesses confirmed they had seen the same man around the area before, and they were right. Zion William Teasley lived less than half a mile from Reach 11 Trail, in his mother's home at the Catherine Townhomes at Scottsdale, and just under 2 miles from Lauren's apartment. Born on January 17th, 2001, Zion's path into crime began after he failed out of Marine Boot Camp in San Diego in 2019. By 2020, his record was already spiraling. Between May and July of that year, he was hit with 13 felony charges. They included burglary in the 3rd degree, armed robbery with a firearm, 5 counts of kidnapping, disorderly conduct with a weapon, aggravated assault with a weapon, and 4 counts of theft. He carried out at least 4 robberies at Circle K convenience stores, demanding Google Play gift cards worth $200 each. In one incident, he admitted to carrying a loaded gun. Eventually, he struck a plea deal. 10 charges were dropped while he admitted guilt to 3, disorderly conduct with a weapon, robbery, and armed robbery with a firearm. On June 11, 2021, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison with 381 days credited for time served. He did his time at Red Rock Correctional Center before being released on probation in November 2022. He was classified as medium to low risk. After his release, he moved back in with his mother, Andrea Teasley, an award-winning surveillance officer working for the county probation department, a fact that only sharpened the irony of his situation. Zion found work at a clothing and sports store, but was fired shortly before the murder for aggressive behavior toward female staff and theft. When police later showed surveillance images to store employees, they recognized him instantly. They even confirmed that the clothing he wore in the footage was identical to items stolen from the shop. One employee went further, stating that Zion always carried a Swiss knife. Armed with this information, investigators were still left with burning questions. What connection did Zion have to Lauren? Why would he follow her? Why would he kill her? And most chilling of all, why the overkill? 15 stab wounds. While detectives scrambled to find any link between Lauren and Zion, officers assigned to monitor him uncovered a startling discovery. He had purchased a ticket to Detroit, Michigan, on May 4th, just 6 days after the murder police moved in, and arrested Zion William Teasley.
Police say they caught a killer in the case of Lauren Heike.
She disappeared 1 week ago. Court documents now revealing she was stabbed more than a dozen times while hiking on a Phoenix trail near Scottsdale Road in the 101.
And in just the last few hours, detectives say her murder appears random, and Lauren fought off that attack, but her injuries were too severe.
Yeah, DNA evidence and other police work led to the arrest of 22-year-old Zion Teasley. ABC 15 reporter Nicole Grigg in the newsroom learning more about the suspect's criminal past. Nicole?
Yes, records show Zion Teasley had DNA taken in 2020, and that's how he was added to the criminal database after he was arrested for crimes. This is video of Zion Teasley being arrested on Thursday. Phoenix police say he killed Lauren Heike. Court documents show this is not his first run-in with law enforcement.
The probable cause statement also mentioned the DNA evidence.
Teasley was arrested in 2020 for robbing Circle K 6 different times. He was facing 13 felony counts, but a plea deal reduced his charges to 3 felonies for robbery, disorderly conduct, and armed robbery. He was sentenced to 3 years and was released from prison in November.
When police arrested Zion and began questioning him, they already knew from the autopsy that Lauren had not been sexually assaulted. Still, they pressed him, asking if his attack had been driven by sexual intent. He insisted it wasn't. At first, he denied being the man in the surveillance footage, but when detectives confronted him with the DNA evidence found on Lauren's shoes, his story crumbled. He admitted he had attacked her. His motive, he said, was jealousy. He confessed that he wished he could be a beautiful woman like her, that he struggled deeply with his gender identity, and that his religious beliefs left him tormented. As grotesque as that explanation was, it seemed to line up with his troubling history, his repeated aggression toward female co-workers, the very behavior that had gotten him fired. Suddenly, the motive felt less like a random fantasy and more like the continuation of a disturbing pattern. Investigators had originally believed the murder was random, but questions kept piling up. If it was random, why wear a hoodie in the scorching heat? Why the sunglasses? Why follow Lauren from her apartment all the way to the trail? The pieces did not fit the picture of a chance encounter. Zion William Teasley was booked into Maricopa County Jail. His bond was set at $1 million cash, but the district attorney challenged it, presenting his one-way ticket to Detroit as proof he was a flight risk. Zion was ruled ineligible for release. While investigators pushed forward gathering evidence for trial, what should have been a 2025 court date was pushed back to 2027. The reason was chilling. Another woman had come forward. She had been attacked in 2020 in almost the exact same way. When Zion's face appeared on television, she recognized him instantly.
Zion Teasley is now charged with stabbing a woman at her Phoenix apartment in 2020. That victim survived. Last year, Maricopa County attorneys charged him with the fatal stabbing of this woman, Lauren Heike. She went hiking on a North Phoenix trail at the time of that incident. Scripps News Phoenix reporter Christine Stanwood has the story on these 2 similar knife attacks.
All right, I want to put this into perspective for you. This is the location where Lauren Heike was found murdered. It's just south of 64th Street and Mayo Boulevard. But get this, 7 miles south is now where police say Teasley, years earlier, attacked a woman taking out her garbage at her apartment. Newly filed court records from July 29th this year show Zion Teasley is facing new charges. this time from an apparent unprovoked attack in 2020. It's separate from Lauren Heike's murder, but both cases detail eerie similarities. Flashback to January 21st, 2020, and court records detail a woman was taking out her garbage at her apartment complex near 43rd Street in Thunderbird. That's when Teasley allegedly fought his way into her apartment. The victim was stabbed in her face and collarbone. She screamed, fought back, and kicked who police say is Teasley, and she survived the attack. At the time, neighbors witnessed a man who they say ran off and jumped the wall with a long blade, but for years, no arrests. If this sounds familiar, in Heike's murder and in this attack, Teasley allegedly used a knife to stab his female victims. But the 2020 case was closed in July of that year when witnesses couldn't identify Teasley in a photo lineup. However, investigators never showed that photo lineup to the victim. But we're learning police returned to the 2020 witnesses and victim after getting a new lead 19 days after Lauren's murder. The victim positively identifying Teasley June 21st, 2023. According to court records, Teasley was arrested for the 2020 attack 2 days later on June 23rd, 2023. We asked the county attorney why it took so long to press charges. Here's her response.
Some of that would be a question for the police department. What I can tell you is that we received the submittal after we received the submittal on the homicide, and the same attorneys are working on that, and we're able to work with the police to bring this to the charges that you've seen.
The trial of Zion William Teasley is set for January 2027. But one question will always hang in the air. Was this truly just a random attack? Personally, I don't believe it was. The signs suggest otherwise. Lauren had only recently moved into her apartment. She was passionate about fitness and hiking, and Zion lived just a short distance from the very trail she loved. It is far more likely he had been watching her. And then there are the details. The hoodie in the blistering heat, the knife he carried with him, the sunglasses meant to obscure his face. None of this speaks of randomness. It feels deliberate. If Zion is convicted, he will face the death penalty. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime documentaries. See you in the next video.